Hello, Spirit and Grace Academy families. I want to give a brief catechesis on indulgences before our students head to the cathedral as part of the Jubilee year on December 3rd, coming up here just in a few weeks. This short video won't do justice to this rich and beautiful topic, and so I plan to offer more of these videos to help our Spirit and Grace Academy family continue to grow in faith and knowledge and deeper love for Jesus Christ and His church. So, indulgences. Real briefly, just a quick technical answer, and then I'll explain it in a more hopefully relatable way. It says, an indulgence is obtained through the church who, by virtue of the power of binding and loosing granted her by Jesus Christ, intervenes in favor of individual Christians. This is from Catechism, paragraph 1479. Since the faithful departed, now being purified, are also members of the same communion of saints, one way we can help them is to obtain indulgences for them, so that the temporal punishments due for their sins may be remitted. Now, what does all that mean? Now, even though indulgences got a bad rap from their misuse of them during the time of Martin Luther, this does not mean that the church, the mystical body of Christ, the communion of saints, does not still have the ability to aid her members, you and I, on our journey of purification and growth in holiness by offering indulgences. Now, in order to understand indulgences, we need to look deep into our own hearts for those things that keep us from giving a complete yes to Jesus. These are likely areas of sin or selfishness that we can't seem to shake. Now, we all have those because of the fall, because of our fallen nature and original sin. Now, consider this. When we die, if our souls are not free from these areas of sin or selfishness or attachments to sin, they do not automatically get removed from our hearts. One question to ask is this: is there any room for selfishness or greed or envy or lust in heaven? In order to enter heaven, our hearts and souls need to be completely purified of these attachments to sin. One of the best ways I've found to make sense of these mystical realities is by using analogies. As you know, all analogies fall short, but still they can be of great help to us. So imagine a young boy, let's call him Johnny, throws a rock through the neighbor's window, and then Johnny feels horrible and goes over and knocks on the neighbor's door and apologizes. The neighbor receives the apology and says, "That's okay, Johnny, I forgive you." So he's forgiven. But she says, you'll still need to pay for the window. And the way you can pay for the window is, I have a garden full of weeds in the backyard, so it might take you a few days or a week to pull all the weeds, but that will be a way that you can pay off the window. So let's say Johnny's family and friends say, we know you're so sorry, so we're going to help you pull all those weeds. So what would have taken him a week or a couple days takes him just an hour or less because everyone chips in. That would be, by way of an analogy, an example of indulgences. The debt that he was going to need to pay for the window gets taken care of more quickly. Now, the weeds are all pulled, so his debt's all paid, right? Well, in terms of attachment or selfishness, attachment to sin, that's not quite as easy as it seems because of this. If Johnny still longs to throw rocks through windows, if he still has an addiction or attachment to this bad habit or sin, relate that to whatever that might be in your life, then he's not completely purified and thus not able to enter heaven. Remember, there's no room for envy or attachment to sin in heaven. We need to be completely purified of the desire. So while the church from her treasury of grace offers the possibility of a plenary indulgence or full remission of sin, in the technical term, if we in our hearts are not free of our addiction or attachment, the indulgence is only partial. So it's not completely wiped away. That's still need for further purification. I hope this brief explanation helps your understanding just a bit. Here are some other resources if you'd like. The Catechism of the Catholic Church, paragraphs 1471 to 1479. There's also a nice book called The Manual of Indulgences. And what I like is this simplified book called Beginning Apologetics, number 8. Talks about the second coming, rapture, heaven, hell, purgatory, and indulgences. Also, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or by phone or text or email, and I'd love to talk with you over coffee or a happy hour drink for further discussion. May God bless you and your family on your journey toward heaven.